In 2017, Chloe was diagnosed with Langerhans cell histiocytosis. I remember when we left the doctor's office and we headed to the hospital that day for some extra testing, just to make sure that this wasn't anything big, this wasn't a problem. I remember that drive to the hospital seemed like forever. I remember calling Josh, and I remember him leaving work and rushing to get there with us. We went through an ultrasound, we went through an x-ray, and it felt like as we were supposed to be finishing up and heading home, it was more testing after more testing. And then finally the radiologist came in and gave us Chloe's diagnosis, LCH, and told us that we would be referred to a pediatric oncologist. In that moment, everything became real. I didn't know what our new normal would be. I didn't know when we would see an oncologist. I didn't know what they were diagnosing my daughter with. I didn't know what that meant for our family. A couple days later, we were able to meet with the oncologist. More testing, so much testing. CT scans, MRIs, more x-rays, another CT, blood work, having to hold my child down so that they could take blood. I remember her crying and asking why. I remember asking the nurse, can you please just stick my arm one time so we can show her that it's gonna be okay, she's gonna be okay. So we just found a way to be strong for her, to let her know that we weren't gonna leave her side. We were gonna be there and everything was gonna be okay. We're thankful because Chloe's rare cancer could sometimes be cured by just removing the lesion if there were no other parts of her body affected. They were able to remove that lesion and no other treatment, no chemo, no radiation. I remember during all of that, you know, after the initial shock of getting home, having to wait 3 days before we can actually see the oncologist, I remember immediately the doorbell ringing, and it was a girl that I had done a session for a while back. Super nice. I didn't really get to know her, but I took pictures of her little boy. She had a Chick-fil-A gift card that she wanted to give me. But something told her to just be there for us, to love us, and show us that there are so many people that were praying for my daughter and that were cheering us on and hoping that everything was going to be okay. I remember my neighbors leaving Krispy Kreme donuts and texting me when she got back home saying, check your front porch. I remember walking in for surgery. We were running in and I looked up and I saw my pastor sitting in the chairs, and I had no idea that they were gonna be there. It was multiple people from my church, and I was like, what are y'all doing here? And they were like, we're here to pray for you. We're gonna pray with you. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna wait for that doctor to call and tell us that everything went okay and she's in recovery. They didn't leave us that day. They went into the room before Chloe's surgery and they prayed over her and they prayed over our family. Chloe's diagnosis wasn't leukemia or lymphoma. Chloe didn't have to go through chemo or radiation, but so many children do have to. I've accepted my nomination for a lot of reasons. I'm doing it for all of those that supported my family and my little girl, for those that cheered her on and prayed her through that hard time. I'm doing it for those that are currently going through this, for those families that just want their children better. I'm doing it for the adults, the men, the women, anyone that has ever had to fight this awful disease. From seeing all of the strangers, the friends, the family, different churches, schools, people all over our community come together for my little girl, I can only imagine what we can do for those who are fighting right now. We can help find a cure together.